Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to this video. So in today's video, we are going to talk about Venus of Dawn Donell. And specifically, I'm going to share a team comp which somebody built up in my arena bracket, which I think is really interesting. It's a comp which I theory crafted, but I didn't bother to build up because I would think that it's not that feasible, but this guy proved me wrong. So I'm going to share the team later, showcase some battle. But before that, let's talk about Donell, like why this unit is not so popular. So Venus of Dawn, he's released together with Reiner as well as Galita. So Celestial and Hypogean units, they are generally more expensive, so it's hard to actually have multiple copies of them to even max them out to higher tiers. That's why he's not somebody that a general F2P player can develop quickly. And at the same time, right, because within this class itself, usually if you're free to play, you can only choose one of them. Compared to the likes of Galita, compared to the likes of Reiner, who are more versatile in terms of team building, who is less team reliant. Even Barrow is less team reliant. Barrow is just arena centric. So Donell as a unit, right, it's quite team reliant. So on top of building this unit up, you probably need to build his team up as well in order to fully maximize his ability. So before I go into the team comp, let's quickly talk about his kit, right? So Ultimate Donell, based on this skill itself, is simply a very powerful AoE skill where he's able to gain invulnerability when he's using it, and this skill hits like a truck, by the way. It really hits like a truck. So Donell hits like a truck as an AoE damage dealer because of the ultimate, as well as the second skill, Starry Void. So this normal attack turns into a penetration attack, so he will throw out a spear, and then the spear will pierce through the enemy to deal sort of like an AoE multi-target damage. At the same time, he's able to flash to a better attack positioning, if not in a good spot, which allows him to further deal as much damage to as many enemies as possible. So he's an amazing AoE attacker. So having good AoE skills as well as AoE numbers or abilities is not going to make him strong if he doesn't have his third skill, Nectar Feast. So it has two parts. So number one, the passive part, he gains a stack of intoxication when receiving non-permanent stat boost from an ally, increasing 15% attack and 15 attack speed up to 3 stacks, triggered once by each ally. So what this skill is offering for Donell is the ability to gain up to 45% attack as well as 45% attack speed if you're able to build a team around him. So that is on top of his active ability where he drinks the Divine Nectar to further increase his attack up to 25% as well as 25 attack speed. So this intoxication stack is further boosted up until 18% per stack and 18 attack speed. So at max level, right, this skill, if you are able to utilize everything, you get 18 times 3, that is 54% attack plus 25% attack, so that's additional 75% attack. And he's also getting the bonus attack speed, so you have 54 attack speed plus 25, then you are getting another 79 attack speed. So the increase in attack as well as attack speed basically increases his damage output insanely because of his piercing attack as well. So it's a multi-target, fast attacking, high damage dealing carry if you're able to build a team around him. And on top of that, his hero focus is also really insane. His normal attack permanently increases his attack speed by 5 during battle for a maximum attack speed bonus of 50. So 10 attacks coming out from him, he's able to get a 50 attack speed. So if you stack all this attack speed bonus, stack all the attack percentage bonus, and then stack his hero focus, you guys will see that he's a really fast attacking machine gun. And this is on top of all the other additional buffs that the other ally is going to provide on him. So I'm going to share the team composition later, but as you guys can see from the skill itself, right, like Donell is basically an insanely good damage dealer. Even if he's dealing like single target damage, I think he hits really hard as well because of the massive attack speed that he has, as well as partial true damage. So yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about the rest of his kit, but Donell is an insanely good damage dealer, provided you're able to build a team around him, provided you're able to find the synergy to make him good while not making your team too weak. So that's for Donell. Let's move into the arena team comps part. Right, so as you guys can see, this is from my battle records. This is the guy with the Donell over here. So I'm going to showcase the team comp, which I think sort of maximizes his ability right now, and then talk about why Donell has the potential. And then I'm also going to share like 3 different battles, so I think 2 offensive and 1 defensively to showcase Donell's ability. So for the offensive side, I tried to attack the guy a few times, right? I tried a different positioning, I tried a different unit composition, and I couldn't break it. So right here we have Donell obviously as the main carry, the one that deals the AoE damage, the one that deals true damage, and the one that carries the team, so a lot of damage. Then we have Parisa, which offers a pretty amazing buff to Donell, attack speed buff as well as normal attack percentage buff, which further increases Donell's ability, because Donell's main damage output is going to come from his normal attack. So Parisa is a perfect partner for Donell. And on top of that, Parisa as a unit is a pretty amazing semi carry as well, as you guys can see from her damage output, as well as her ability to attract multiple enemies, as well as the AoE nature of this ultimate, right? So if the enemy clumps up, his ultimate is going to deal a lot of damage if the ultimate goes through. So that's for Parisa. Good buffer as well as a semi carry. Then third unit we have a Smokey. So obviously Smokey is there for the heal, the haze buff, as well as attack percentage buff, which is another additional stack of nectar for our dear Donell over here. So we have Parisa and Smokey on the buffing compartment, and this is just 2 units. And the issue with the current meta or the current buffing units per se is that most of them are not that good, right? In Arena specifically, maybe more so they are better in other game modes. But the thing is, they are just separated across different factions, so it's really hard to build a team that is cohesive to the faction bonus, as well as a team with really good meta units for specific arena comps in their arena setup. So that's why this comp is not unbreakable, but I'll say it's pretty legit based on the team building itself, and it does work, right? It's able to beat me and I can't find a counter to it, so that's why I'm showcasing it. Then for the 4th unit we have Viperian, really good AoE attacker, really good at slowing your enemy down and then just hitting them before they do anything. Then we have Torrent, amazing tank, and this Torrent is not even Supreme Plus yet. So yeah, it is just there as a tank ability, right? He's not like super duper tanky, but he's able to absorb the first wave of damage from the enemies, and that's enough for this comp. So that's how this team comp works. Let's run into some replays, right? Let's go into this replay. I'm gonna explain how the thing looks like. So this is at 1 time. So he's using this enhancement spell, which buff the attack speed of 1 unit. So more buffs for Donell, as you guys can see. So as he's attacking, right, his spear is piercing through multiple enemies. So what I did is I try to reposition my unit so that I don't get like hit by his spear too many times. So as you guys can see, only Heron died initially, but this is the ultimate coming up from Donell. It's a lot of damage. And the thing about this ultimate is that when he's using ultimate, you can't target him. So this invulnerability might not sound a lot, but it buys a little bit more time for your enemies to do something. It buys a little bit more time for your team to do something. So that's one thing about like this ultimate, which is also really annoying at times. So I have another replay. Let's go into this replay. I think this one, it was more one-sided. Yeah, was it? I think this is more one-sided. Yeah, let's go into this one. So this second replay offensively, so everything is the same. This time around, this is where I clumped up, as you guys can see, right? So if your enemies are lined up like this, you guys will see that he's gonna just pierce through as many. Okay, so here he's hitting our dear Iron over here, so only attacking 1 target, but then Laika decides to move over here and then he start piercing like multiple target when he's using his normal attack. What this does for him, at the same time having bonus attack speed, also charges his ultimate. So you guys can see his carry is using the ultimate way earlier than mine, and with Viperian slowing me down, right, he's able to do stuff faster than me as well. And like his carry having so many buffs, his Donell having so many buffs, it's just letting him deal insane damage. Like, it's just crazy like how this comp works despite having such a lousy unit quality in terms of arena. Like, don't get me wrong, right, I'm not saying that his comp is lousy, but if you take a look at the team composition, this one is for the defensive side. I'm gonna showcase this. If you take a look at this composition itself, right, like Parisa is definitely not an arena unit, so it's murky. But the thing is, if you group them together, it makes an insane synergy with Donell, and Donell being a celestial unit links up with the 2 undead unit, the Griffborn unit, to get the faction bonus. So that this team has a bit of bonus faction, but usually you won't think of this kind of like team comp as the units that he used right here, right? They aren't exactly like the best for the game mode. So this is just some interesting suggestion or interesting idea that you guys can think for yourself. So Donell definitely has space. Let's go into the defense compartment, right? I'm going to showcase one of the matches. There's quite a few. I'm just going to take the last one. So in this case, the Donell doesn't do as much. Right, in this case, his Viperium becomes a secondary carry, as you guys can see, because he doesn't have the Parisa buff to make sure Donell comes online quickly. And that's why in this report, as you guys can see, the Donell is still doing the same thing, right? Repositioning himself to hit multiple enemies, piercing my target, but it feels much lower in this one because he lacks the attack speed from Parisa. He lacks the normal attack damage buff, but yeah, he's still winning me, so it doesn't matter. So just now, as you guys can see, this is the team comp with Donell having the buff from Parisa, and then this is the exact team comp but removing our dear Parisa for Sisir for the additional HP boost. So the other units are doing more, or rather the Donell is doing less in this kind of scenario. So this is report number 1, this is report number 2, and then this is report number 3, as you guys can see. So basically, in this kind of situation, the Donell loses quite a bit of power because he's losing 1 stack of intoxication buff and he's losing an important attack damage buff as well as attack speed buff, which will sort of snowball. Like, the thing about buffing another unit is that you are snowballing the unit. So yeah, like in this case, this Donell is not the primary carry but a linker in the team. So that's for this team comp, right? Basically a very simple sharing. So yeah, like that's pretty much it for this video, right? So there is definitely potential for Donell. Like what I'm trying to say, or rather what this video is trying to sort of showcase to you guys, is that I think Donell definitely has a potential. And same thing for Barrel as well. There's 4 Celestial units. Each of them have their own strengths and weaknesses, but specifically you got to find the team that makes them work. You got to find the idea, the glue to glue the synergy together, and Donell is the best example for that because he's not as versatile compared to Skalita. He's also not as versatile compared to Reiner. Like these 2 units, you can slot them into anything and they will still work. But for Donell, if you don't build around him, then he's not gonna be really good, and then you won't want to run him, right, if you're not gonna make him really good. So that's the problem with Donell. But does this unit have potential? Definitely. I think in the future, if we do get a really powerful buffing unit that can go into many teams and go really well with Donell, then this unit definitely has a chance to sort of explode, right, with the existing pool of units as well as future good units to come into the game. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Do remember to like and subscribe to see more AFK Journey contents from this channel, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys!